Hello friends, here I am again with a new poem, The Cold Within by James Patrick Kinney. A lovely poem and apt, very apt for today's situation when we are looking around where there are so many people facing so many problems. People are starving, there's no facilities for them, and how we think about how we can extend our help. That's a kind deed, and this is the time that calls for extending help. Okay, so this is a beautiful poem which tells us that yes, it's very important, very essential to help people. Okay, and by helping others we are actually helping ourselves. So this beautiful poem reminds us of the kind deed that needs to be done, not today or tomorrow, but every time. So here we are with Cold Within by James Patrick Kinney. Before we begin with the poem, a little bit about the poet. James Patrick Kinney is an American poet who wrote this poem in 1960s. Yeah, this poem was rejected initially because it's controversial, but later on it gains a lot of popularity. It talks about lot of things, lot of evil feelings that we hold in our mind, the grudges that we hold in our mind, and how those ill feelings and grudges become a problem for us, for our own existence. I would want you to pay attention to the very last part, this last paragraph of the introduction of the poet, which says the poem is a simple yet powerful reminder that if we selfishly hold on to the world's resources and the wealth that it has to offer, we persist in discriminating on grounds of race, religion, caste, gender and ethnicity, we are all lost. So the poet is urging us, he is telling us that it's no use discriminating when God has created us all equal, us all the same. Then what is that we are grudging on? What is that we want to hold on? He says no need to hold on anything. The more you let go, the more will come your way. Okay, and if you keep holding things, nothing will stay with you, everything will go away. A beautiful reminder to be kind, to be generous, to be loving, to be caring. Okay, Cold Within by James Patrick Kinney. It's a very simple poem. If you just read the poem, you will understand what the poet is trying to say. But we will get into a little deeper meaning of the poem along with the superficial meaning of the poem. Right? So let's go on with a quick reading of the poem. The Cold Within by James Patrick Kinney. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story is told. They are dying fire in need of logs. But the first one held hers back, for of the faces round the fire she noticed one was black. The next man looking crossed the way saw one knot of his church, and could not bring himself to give the fire his stick of birch. The third one sat in tattered clothes, he gave his coat a hitch. Why should he put his log to use, to warm the idle rich? The rich man just sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store, and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. The black man's face bespoke revenge as the fire passed from his sight, for all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. The last man of this forlorn group did not accept for gain. Giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. Their logs held tight in death's still hand was proof of human sin. They did not die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. So let's go on. You can get very clear. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. The poet is talking about, I should first tell you the same thing into a small story line, I believe. The story, rather, as it's saying here, also the story is told. So it's like a small story, I should tell you. And what happens is, it's a time of cold, bitter cold. And 6 people, 6 individuals, they are all strangers to each other. So 6 individuals, 6 strangers, they meet each other by chance. Okay, they have not planned to meet, they don't know each other, but by chance they all come together in a place, and this place is probably unknown to them. That's why they don't know that where to go for any kind of help or any kind of resources. So these 6 individual indifferent people, okay, these 6 individuals who are completely indifferent to each other, they are not friendly to each other, they do not know each other. So these people have met somewhere. We don't know exactly where they have met, but it's a place where they don't have any kind of resources available for them. Okay, so these people have met in a particular place. There's no trees or nothing, but what they see is a small fire which is burning, which is actually on the verge of dying. It's a small fire which is dying. And what kind of weather prevailed? It was bleak and bitter cold, very unpleasant and miserably cold. It was unbearable. So all the 6 people, 6 strangers who were there, they were definitely feeling cold. They wanted to warm themselves, and there was no way out except for the dying fire which was there in that particular place, where they could have gone and warmed themselves. That was one. Another thing was, they had each and every individual, all the 6 people were holding a log in their hand. They all were having a log of wood in their hand. Okay, now this log could definitely help them to feel warm. How? By burning the log. But they did not have the way to make fire. To make fire was the only possibility available. There was the dying fire. So if they could put the log in the dying fire, the fire would renew, it would light up brighter and better, warmer. They could have comforted themselves and survived. Okay, so now these 6 people, now imagine, you need to create imagery in your mind. There's an open space, bleak and bitter cold, a small dying fire burning, 6 people, each of the person holding a log in his or her hand. Okay, so now they don't want to come together. They don't want to be with each other because they are all unknown to each other. They're indifferent to each other. They don't know each other. So they're not friendly at all. But what happens is they come together. Okay, but they have not purposely come together. The circumstances brought them together because there is only one fire, one dying fire which could keep them warm, which could give them the warmth. That's why they come close, so that they can get the warmth from the fire. Okay, so now they have come close to the fire. They would have never come, but because this fire doesn't belong to any particular person, it's a fire which probably somebody might have lit at in the in the previous part of the day, the person might have went away. So now that fire was dying. So they thought of sitting there and warming themselves. They could have kindled the fire by putting their logs, but none of them did that. The fire was dying and slowly dying. So when the fire is dying, definitely the cold will take over. Had they put their logs inside, they could have renewed the fire, kept themselves warm. Later by the morning, they could have received some help. But they all were so cold from inside their heart. They were so filled with lot of grudges on the ground, discriminating each other on the grounds of caste, class, religion, gender, color. They were so full of hatred, so full of biases, so full of prejudice, that they did not put their log in fire. They let their logs with themselves, holding it tight, which was no use holding, because if the logs are not burned, they are of no good to them. And what happened later? The dying fire, which was dying, slowly, completely died. And all these 6 people, keeping their logs to themselves, died holding their logs tight in their hand. What do we learn? Just keeping the resources to themselves, just because the other person does not belong to their community, or is not of their race, or of not the color, or of the class. Was that the reason? Yes, this was the reason. Was that reason sufficient to keep their logs? That was not. Had they thought that, forget about the person who's sitting in front of me, I need the fire, I will put my log in the fire for myself, they all would have survived. But none of them did this. This is teaching us that not to be selfish, not to be jealous, not to be greedy, not to be envious, not to be opportunist, but be kind-hearted. Learn to give. The more you give, the more you will receive. That's how life goes on. Okay, this is what the poet is trying to bring out. So this poem initially invited a lot of controversy because the poet is talking about a lot of people. He has not named anybody. There is no community, no religion, no country. The poem has a complete universal appeal applicable to every part of the world, to every individual, to every community, to every society. When I say universal appeal, it is applicable to everyone. So let's go back and do this beautiful poem once again, line wise. So let's see. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the stories told. So what do we see here? 6 human. So there are 6 human, they are trapped, happenstance, trapped, caught against one. They didn't want to come together, but unfortunately they had no option, they had come together. Okay, happenstance means by chance. So 6 humans were caught against their wishes by chance. And what was the condition? What kind of weather conditions prevailed at that place where they were caught? It was an unknown place to them, and the weather condition was bleak and bitter. The poet is telling us the word bleak, which is very unpleasant. It is marking the evilness of the weather condition, and it was bitter, miserable, cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story is told. Every person, every individual of the 6 human were holding a stick of wood. This wood could have been burnt to create better fire, to kindle the dying fire, but it was not used. So everyone possessed, was holding a stick of wood, or so the story is told. Before I proceed further, let me tell you the stick of wood has a symbolic meaning. This is the superficial meaning of the poem that I told you, but the wood has a symbolic meaning. The wood here stands for ego. The wood here stands for ego. What they are holding tight, each one possessed. Everyone had their own egos. What they were holding tight in their hands against their hearts was their ego. They were holding on tight to their ego. Their dying fire in need of logs. As I told you, they met in a place where there was a dying fire, and they all came together and sat there. Now this dying fire was in need of log because it was dying. To renew the fire, they needed the logs, and if they put the logs, the fire will renew and will burn brighter, providing more warmth, and they all could be comfortable. But did they do this? No. So here the dying fire also has a very, very important symbolic meaning. The dying fire is actually the fire of compassion, humanity, love, fraternity. So this is the fire of humanity, compassion, love, fraternity, of loving each other, of understanding each other, of standing for each other. This fire was dying. And how could this fire be renewed? By burning your egos. So the fire of love can be kindled only by burning the egos. We hold on to our egos so strongly that we let this fire of compassion, love, humanity die. What is happening in today's world, especially in India? What is happening? People have become so biased towards their own community, towards their own religion, that they are not thinking about others. They are not understanding that bottom line is God has made us all the same. He has created us human beings. Okay, so if there's a kind of illness which is spreading across the world, it is not going to discriminate on a person whether he's poor, so I will catch the poor, I will leave the rich, or he's of a particular religion, so I will catch him, and this particular religion I cannot. No, when weather, God has created weather, the sunlight, the rain, the wind, the breeze, everything treats every individual equal, whether it is a poor person, rich person, of any particular religion, of any particular community, of any class. When nature has not discriminated, who are we? But we are holding on to our grudges without realizing that holding on to our grudges is going to bring miseries or difficult hard times to us. Okay, we are going to be ruined by this if we hold on to our ego. So let's see the dying fire, the fire which was dying, the fire of compassion, of humanity, of love and fraternity was dying. It needed the logs of wood. It needed the egos to be burnt, but nobody gave up. So let's see who were the people and why were they holding their egos. So the dying fire in need of logs, but the first one held us back. The first mention here is a lady who was holding her wood. Now in the original poem by Patrick Kinney, all the 6 people are human, all the 6 people are men. Okay, now men doesn't mean that it's only man and women don't do such a thing. Okay, man actually stands for human beings. Okay, it goes on for a neutral approach, where it's talking about not a man or a woman or anything, or a child or any transgender. No, they're talking only about human being. But to remove this, that people should not feel that they're gender biased, that's why ICSE has made this minor change in it by putting the first person as a lady. Otherwise they all 6 are men as in human being. So anyways, moving on to we will write all the text says, so we'll say her only. The first one was a lady who was holding a stick of wood. As I told you, everyone was holding. The first lady who was holding the stick of wood, she did not put her log in the fire. Why? The first one held hers back, for off the faces around the fire she noticed one was black. So lady, when she saw across, what did she see? She had the fire, the wood, which she could have put in the fire. She did not. Because when she looked around, she saw that one person sitting was a black, probably an Afro-American, and she was a white lady. So she was holding on to the racist attitude, prejudiced. Okay, so she did not put the log because she didn't want to warm the black. She was holding the racist attitude. She was prejudiced against this man. She didn't want to she didn't want to warm this man. Had she thought that the warmth is required by me, she would have thought, she would have definitely done a better job. But what was in her mind? Forget about me, I don't want to comfort the black man. She did not. Okay, the first lady did not put her log because what she saw was a man sitting in that crowd was a black man, an Afro-American probably. Holding her racist attitude, she did not put because there was a man black. The second person was a bigot. I've written here, if you can see, and I want you to note it down in your books also the way I have written. So the second person was a bigot. Bigot is nothing but religious bias. Okay, he was a bigot. The next man looking across the way saw one not of his church and could not bring himself to give the fire the stick of birch. So the next man looking cross means across. See that there's an apostrophe. If you see there's an apostrophe, this apostrophe stands for the A. That's why I've written the word here so that you're not confused. The next man looking across the way saw not one of his church. So no, not a single person. When he saw that not a single. Now church doesn't mean only Christian, as I told you. The poem holds universal appeal. So when he saw, he couldn't see a single person belonging to his community. Not Christian or not Jew or any other thing, but not his community. So we don't know which religion, but not a community. So the church stands here for community. So when he saw that none of the people in that crowd belonged to his community. So why should I give my stick for these people who don't belong to my community? They are all strangers. I will not. Birch is a kind of wood, like you must have done in geography. Rosewood, ebony, mahogany. So all these kind of woods are there. Like similarly, there is birch also kind of wood. The bark of this birch tree can be easily pulled out, and it can be used for burning also. So this second person, who was a bigot, a religious biased person, did not give his log of wood for burning because he saw that not a single person belonged to his community. Okay, so he did not. So the first lady, racist attitude, did not. She was a white lady. She was a racist lady. She did not give because there was a black man sitting in the group. The second was a bigot, and he saw that not a single person belonged to his religion. So he did not give his wood to the fire. The third person was a poor person. How do we know that? The third one sat in tattered clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. Why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? The third person sitting in tattered clothes, tattered, torn clothes. So he, sitting in tattered clothes and torn clothes, he didn't want to. Now torn clothes tell us that he was a poor man. This is the word which tells us that he was a poor man. In tattered clothes, he gave his coat a hitch. Gave his coat a hitch means he pulled his coat with a jerk. Okay, hitch means to pull with a jerk. So he pulled his coat probably to warm himself, or was he trying to show some attitude? Maybe. Why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? So he also thought the same thing, that why should I put my log? Because what did he saw in the crowd? He saw that there was a rich man sitting in the crowd. So this man, who was a poor man, he looked around and he saw there was a rich man. What did he think? These rich people make us work, make us toil and enjoy the fruits of our labor. We work hard and the benefits and the profits are earned by these rich men. They exploit us. And then why should I give my log to warm this rich person? He is rich, let him have his own way out. I will not. So this man had a lot of envy in his heart, had a lot of hatred in his heart for the rich man. This poor person had a lot of envy and hate for the rich man. And seeing the rich man in the crowd, he did not put his log of wood, because he didn't want to warm this idle rich. Idle means state of doing nothing, because these poor people believed that these rich people don't do any work. They just sit idle, relax, and all the work is done by the poor. So we are toiling, we are doing all the hard work, so why should I give him the warmth now? No, I will not. He did not. And the next person, that is the fourth person now, was a rich man. And the poor saw the rich and rich saw the poor. The rich man just sat back and thought of wealth he had in store and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. So the rich man just sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store. He was sitting and wondering. Actually, the log what he was holding, he could actually imagine that log to be his wealth. He believed that the log was like wealth to him, okay? So that wealth he wanted to keep on to his own self. So what did he see? He saw that there was this log, and this log for this rich man was his wealth. So he wanted to keep that wealth safe from this poor and the needy. So he believed that these poor, what did he call the poor? He called them lazy and shiftless. The rich man believed that these poor people are lazy, they are shiftless, they lack ambition, they don't want to do anything. And that is why I don't want to give. This log is like my wealth. I need to keep my wealth safe. This is my hard earned. Okay, the poor believes the rich is doing nothing. The rich believes it is my hard earned wealth. I will not give it for the lazy and shiftless poor. The lazy people who don't do any work, shiftless, they don't have any ambition, any energy to do anything. They just sit. They are lagging behind. So if they are lazy, why should I do something for them? And that's the reason why even he did not give his log of wood. Moving on to the next page, the fifth person. The black man's face bespoke revenge as the fire passed from his sight. For all he saw in the stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. Now the black man. Remember the first lady, the white lady who saw the black person and did not give her log. Now same way, this person is looking at the white lady. So the black man's face bespoke. Bespoke means showed signs of. Now for the black man I have written here, he was spiteful, revengeful. He was victim of racism. So what did he see? If you look at the black man's face, and his face bespoke or showed signs of revenge. Oh, this is the chance to take revenge, to seek revenge. As the fire was passing from his sight, it was slowly dying, because what he saw in his log of wood was only a chance to spite the white. Spite means desire to cause harm, especially because you feel that you have not been treated well. As I told you, he believed himself to be a victim of racism. So he believed that these whites have always been very oppressive towards us. They have always suppressed us, oppressed us. They have exploited us. Today it's my chance. Today it's my chance to seek revenge, and I will not let it go. So his face showed signs of revenge, and he did not give his wood because he had in his mind a desire to harm the white. Okay, so just to harm the white, he did not give the log. He also did not think that I also need the warmth. None of the people thought that they too needed the warmth. They too needed to be warmed by the fire. They too needed to survive. They only thought about the other person, and that's how they brought the downfall. Moving on to the last person, that is, okay, the last man of this forlorn group did not accept for gain. Giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. The last man, now we will move on to the sixth person of this forlorn group. Very important part, but I'll come to this later after the stanza is done. Did not, N-O-U-G-H not means nothing. So the last man was a person who was a very selfish person. He was an opportunist. He did nothing except for gain. That is, what was his way of playing game? Giving only to those who gave. So if you give, I give. You don't give, I will not give. He only believed in give and take, a barter system rather we can say. So did he give? No. Why? Because none of the people above had given their log. So when none of them have given, why should I? Because he was a person who was very firm on giving and taking. So when he saw that nobody gave the log, why should I give? So he too did not bother to give. I will not give. When nobody has given, I will not give. So he was a very selfish person, an opportunist, grabbing opportunity. When somebody will give, it's benefiting me, I will do it. If it's not benefiting me, I will not do. Okay, I told you I leave this word. Forlorn group. The word forlorn means sad and lonely, and group means many people. We all know what is a group. Group means more than 2-3 people is a group. Forlorn, lonely. If you look at this two words together, they are totally opposite to each other. The word forlorn means lonely, and the word group means many people. So two opposite words have been placed together. This is a kind of figure of speech. It is known as oxymoron. Okay, this figure of speech where two opposite words are placed side by side is known as oxymoron. So this is an example of oxymoron where there are people in group, and being in a group they all are lonely. So they are 6 but they are all alone. Nobody wants to help, guide, support anybody. Okay, so it's an example of oxymoron. Moving on to the last stanza. So we have done with the 6 people. Their logs held tight and death still hand. So what happened early in the morning? The night passed away. Okay, the night went off and now it was morning. And what was it? Their logs held tight and death still hand was proof of human sin. They did not die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. So later, afterwards, when the morning came up, when the morning sun rose probably, what was found? The dead bodies of 6 people were found. Okay, the 6 dead bodies were found, and every dead body was holding the log tight in his or her hand. Okay, so the figure of speech used here is personification. Their logs held tight in death still hand. Who is holding the log? Not the person, but death is holding. It's a figure of speech personification. Actually, the people are holding. If you remember what I told you about the log, what was log? What did the log resemble? What was the log symbol of? Ego. Ego. So all the people died holding on tight to their egos. So the log, that means holding their egos, 6 dead bodies were found. Proof of human sin. It was a proof of human sin. They committed sin. What was the sin that they committed? What was the sin? It was the sin of not adhering to God's command. You don't adhere to God's command. That's the biggest sin. And what is God's command? God commands man to love thy neighbor as thyself. In every religion, in every holy book, it is mentioned that love thy neighbor as thyself. Treat your people. No book has mentioned any particular religion. They only say love thy neighbor. No caste, no community, no class, no status. Nothing is mentioned. Only love thy neighbor as thyself. Love your people. Love your fellow being as you love yourself. Be kind to them. Be helpful to them. Are we doing that? No, we are not. That's what they did not do. And that is what brought the downfall, brought death. Nothing can be bitter than that. Nothing can be miserable than that. Death. Okay. So what was it? They all died. It was a proof of humans. They were punished. What did they do? They brought the consequence on themselves. They were so overwhelmed with their greed, with their attitude, with their selfishness, jealousy, revenge, hatred, prejudice, biasness, that they did not think of others. In this way, they invited death for themselves. Had they given their logs, they would have survived. But they did not. So they all died. They died not from the cold without. The word without means outside. The outside cold did not kill them. They died because they were cold within. Cold because there was no warmth. You understand the meaning of warmth? There was no warmth inside their heart. What is warmth? Warmth is the feeling of love, affection, compassion, humanity. All these feelings were cold, were dead. So their hearts were completely cold. All the feelings had died in their heart. And because their hearts were cold, they did not die from the cold outside. They died from the cold within. So lack of warmth in human relationship. 6 people represent. Okay, and I'm just summarizing the entire poem once again. These 6 people were the representatives of the entire human race. Sad. These people were overtaken by the feelings of revenge, of spite, of anger, of jealousy, of greed, of hatred, of revenge, to such an extent that eventually these prejudices led to their death. The 6 human are devoid of humanity, and even then, when they are going through the same situation, They all are facing the same situation. They all could have put the logs. At least one person could have put, the other looking at that person would have done that. So at least one would have initiated, the others would have followed, but none of them did that. They were so cold from inside, they did not cooperate in such miserable situation also. Okay, the dying fire is symbolic of the dying feeling of compassion, humanity, love, fraternity in the hearts of people. And as I told you, the logs is symbol, the logs that they were holding was a symbol of ego. The situation called for giving up ego. I am again saying this, that even today's situation calls upon giving up your egos and extending our love, extending our helping hands to all those who are in need without being biased. The dying fire of compassion needed to be kept burning by the burning logs, the ego which had to be burned. But the 6 people failed to give up their egos, their logs, and the fire died. No man can survive without compassion, humanity, love, etc. The outside fire could have definitely been taken care of had the people not been cold from within. But they were so cold from within that they failed to understand that by thinking of causing harm to the other person, they are actually inviting harm to their own selves. People, let's take this as a very important part in today's world, in today's life. Let's be kind, let's be generous, let's be helpful, let's be compassionate, let's be human for everyone. Let's rise above all kind of biasness. Let's rise above all kind of hatred, jealousy. A person is doing wrong, fine, that is his way out. I am not going to do wrong. I will always stand for the right. I will always stand for people. Remember, your deeds will not be rewarded by this world, but there is someone who is always there to reward you, even for a deed as minute as a grain of mustard, and that is your Lord, who is watching over everything. So no good deed will ever go unrewarded. Understand this, and let's rise today and always for everyone. Let's rise above this biasness, above this prejudice, above this hatred, and let's all be human. That's all for today. Take good care of yourself. Thank you.